Hey guys, welcome back to Two Girls Trying Not to Quit. Today's episode is going to be a little different because we're basically reacting to our own generation. We've been seeing so many headlines, statistics, and just conversations online about Gen Z, how we are the most anxious generation, how we don't want 9 to 5s, how dating is harder than ever, which is honestly true, how we're all burned out in our 20s, and we were like, wait a minute, is this actually true or are people just saying things? So today we're going to be reacting to some of the biggest stats and opinions about Gen Z and giving our honest thoughts, what we agree with, what we don't, and what we've personally experienced because we are Gen Z. So this is going to be very real.
Yes, I love it. I heard something the other day that like Gen Z, they're called Zoomers or something, and I was like, "What is a Zoomer?" Like, I did not. It's news to
Zoomers.
me, but I'm like, we are this generation. I should know.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, going into it, like top number one for Gen Zers is that we are the most anxious generation, which kind of makes sense in my head. Around 42% of Gen Zs report struggling with anxiety or depression,
Yeah,
which is
but why
crazy.
did you say that it makes sense in your head?
I mean, one of the things is where we constantly have feedback on our lovely little cellular devices to
Oh,
see. I mean, we've touched on this before, but you get to see
mm-hmm.
everyone's most perfect life. And it's like, oh, am I doing enough? Am I this? Am I that? And it's like, you just saw 10 people back to back their perfect snippets. Of course, you're not going to feel like you are the most successful person because you can't
Right.
do all that in 30 seconds. And that's what a scroll is.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. But 42, yeah, struggle with anxiety or depression. And depression is no joke. I actually just met someone the other day, had direct friends with me, but friends of a friend. And she was depressed for about 4 months and she didn't go out of the house. She didn't meet anybody. Like she would go to work from home and do absolutely nothing. She didn't have the strength to go like out of bed after work and do anything for herself. Like she was in this deep state of depression. And I don't want to sound insensitive, but sometimes I would see that or hear the stories and I'll be like, oh, they're just being dramatic. They're not really that bad. But I've seen it not only on her but on multiple other people, and it is scary because what do you have to be going through in your mind is because it's a mind thing
No.
to not want to do anything, basically to not be able to get out of your bed because it's not physical, it's not your body with the disease or anything, it's mainly your mind.
No, it's so sad because like it's not something that you can necessarily control either. It's just like you're just encompassed by it, and at that point, that's why people fall into a hole and can get stuck there for so long because it's just you don't even want to get help because you're just so exhausted. Which maybe a good question is because it's 42%, so that means we round up half of the people that we run into in
Yeah.
our generation have some form of anxiety or depression. So I mean, for you, is that something that you have experienced in your 20s, or which side of the table do you sit on? Do you sit on the 60% or the 40%
I
side?
think I'm on the 60%, and not I don't say that to brag, just like because I haven't experienced it. And again, I've said multiple times before, I think majority of it is because I stayed away from social media for so long, growing up in a country where I didn't really have access to it until I moved out. So that helped a lot when it comes to comparing myself with with other people. And since when I started actually being online and getting on social media, I was like 16, 17. I was already like a fully grown person. So I had my own opinions, my own mindset, and everything. So I think I was kind of on the safe side of it, but not by all means like I'm saying like it's never gonna happen. I don't know. I'm gonna do my best for it not to happen. But as of right now, I'm sitting on that 60%. I think you're also on the 60%, but you tell me.
I am not on the 60%.
What? No.
Yeah, no.
Anxiety on the anxiety side?
Not anxiety. I had PTSD after the car accident, which is like a
Oh my God,
form of
yes. Yeah, that makes
anxiety,
sense.
but I've always struggled with the depression side, which is
Really?
extremely frustrating because in my mind, I thought it was so dumb. I was like, how can I be? I'm like, I'm too smart to be
Mm,
depressed. Like, how can I not tackle this? How can
I
I
agree.
logically not get around this? And it just hits you so hard.
Mm,
And that's the scary part. Is like until you experience it, it makes it really, really hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes because it's like, oh, just get out
right.
ahead. Just you got it.
Right.
But
Wow, I
yeah,
didn't know that about you. Yeah, but thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. Yeah, I didn't know that you learned. Again, You may be sitting with someone at work and they be smiling and laughing and everything's great. And in reality, they might be going through something you don't even know. Because I know you and I would have never thought you would be in that state, which is totally fine, as we can see, totally normal for our generation.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't expect it, you know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We're oblivious to it right one time. So I guess the thing that we can take away from this is just be more mindful how you talk to people around you because you never know what they're going through. Now,
Yeah.
on a more I wouldn't say happy note, but better than this one. Let's move on to the next thing, which is Gen Z doesn't want traditional 9 to 5 jobs. Over 60% of Gen Z want to start their own business or side hustle. Flexibility is valued more than what do
This is
you
the
think
side where
about
I'm on
this?
60%.
Yes. You're on the top here.
100%. So, yeah, I related to this so much. I read that headline. I was like, 100%. I originally I thought I was going to climb the corporate ladder, be a CEO,
Right.
a Fortune 500 company. There's so many notebooks and what do you want to be when you grow up? A Fortune 500 CEO. I was very specific what I
Yeah.
wanted. And now I'm like, I couldn't be further from that.
Right.
CEO of my own company.
Hmm.
We're starting, but
Yes.
now we need to be a CEO of my own company. That is a
I
Fortune
know.
500.
I
So,
agree. So I'm on the side, like, honestly, I could be good on either side, but I think right now, this moment specifically of my life, like I lean also more towards the 60% because I just made a change of careers again, which for the better because it was down the route that I wanted to take and I was already working towards it. I'm just like moving in that direction now. But I went from something like you could call, because what you call stable is not really stable. Like nothing's stable in this world, nothing is guaranteed, absolutely nothing. The only thing that I trust 100% is me, my skills, and my ability to make it happen and figure it out no matter what. So nothing, no job, no career, no nothing is really stable. But you could say in the public eye that I went from something really stable, really structured, into something a little bit more riskier into what I'm doing now. But honestly, I feel 100 times better. So that second part where it says flexibility is valued more than stability, I agree 100% with that. I
yeah.
prefer to be doing something a little bit more flexible and something that, I don't know, it aligns more with who I am than being trapped somewhere for the sake of stability, which is an illusion at the end of the day.
Especially the generations above Gen Z, it's hit them really hard this year. You know how many layoffs,
Yes,
tens
I
of
read
thousands of
something
people
that
that get laid off.
Oracle, yeah, I read that Oracle laid off 30,000 people in 1 month, in 1 week,
Yeah, even
30,000.
my own company, they've had layoffs, and it's people that were there a lot longer than me, and it was shocking. Like they cut out whole entire departments,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was like an overnight thing. And I was like, yeah, when people say it's stable, they were
Same.
out. Like they didn't even know it was coming.
Yeah, now that you say that, I just remember my first corporate job that I was there for 2.5 years. My manager worked at that place for 25 years since she was 19. Her whole life, she was at that company. Well, I left. I wasn't laid off. I left. I made the decision to leave. She was laid off 3 months after I left after 25 years. And then I heard, by my friends and everything, entire departments were cut off.
It's
So
crazy. So it's like
nothing exactly. And when I
stability.
left that, it's actually when I left that, my mom told me, no, you're crazy. You're leaving like a very stable, secure job. And then this happened. I'm like, Mom, nothing is secured. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
This is kind of a side note from this too, is like listening to other generations,
mm,
because there's all these variants of what we want to do and
yeah,
what each other thinks is stability. And for instance, if you would have listened to your mom, if you would have stayed in something like that, and then you would have been the one that got laid off.
right? You never know.
So yeah, it's really interesting. But the harder one in my number 3 on this list is that dating is harder than ever, which I 100% agree with.
Mhm.
Nearly 50% of Gen Z says dating is harder now than in previous generations.
I
We have
100%
situationships.
agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, Audrey? Do you agree?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Because I am now in the mindset of I am open to it. When we had the dating podcast, I was like, no man's going to tie me down. And now I'm more like, it would be nice. The right person who adds value,
Mhm.
100%.
Exactly. And it doesn't
So,
have to be tied down like that. You don't have to go
yeah.
to it
I
with that
was
mentality,
That's the
ma'am.
mentality I had though. So I was
No.
repelling all commitment.
Yeah, absolutely
But
not.
now that I'm open to it and
Mm.
inviting that in, first off, I had some really bad dates, But second off, this past weekend, the weekend before that, I don't know what it was. Town was like a meat market. I had probably like 4 guys come up to me. I mean, they were cute too. We had great
I mean,
conversation.
if I was a guy, I would hit you up too. I mean, have you
Thank
seen
you.
you?
I was high on life that night too. I just had really great energy. I was attracting great energy. And there was one guy that I was actually interested in. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, we had a great conversation. We talked for a while. We exchanged numbers. He had like he wanted to go to Barcelona, like the dinner place. I was like, oh, this
The
sounds
dinner
great.
place, you're like, not the country.
Not the country. I've had those guys. I run very far. And then I was leaving. First off, first problem, met at a bar. But I was leaving like later that night, and he comes up to me and is like, "Hey, can I have your number?" And I was like, I had already given him my number.
No.
And I was like, did you either forget about me? Did you get drunk? Did you think I'm someone else?
Honestly, I think on any scenario is a bad thing.
I know. And then he texted me at 3 a.m. my name with like 5 Y's at the end of it. And I was like, oh no.
Oh my god. You were
So
like,
he did.
man, it
I
seemed
woke.
like a good one. You know what I call that? I was in a group one time that we call, let's say, candidates or prospects. We call them, we had names for each type of it. One was poop, the other one was like super bad poop or something. There was
Roach,
one,
perhaps.
I don't remember, but that's a good one. But one, it was the most dangerous one. It was camouflage poop, which seems like a good thing in the beginning, but it's really just poop at the end.
Yeah,
That's what I would call this guy.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, he tried to set up a date too. He asked me when I was free, and I was like, okay, because he did text me the next day and was like, hey, probably a bad move to text you at 3 a.m. And I was like, 100%. He's like, when are you free? So you know what? I'll still give this. This is my problem. I was like, I'll still give this man a shot. So I told him, and then ghost. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know why I try. That's why it's so hard with this generation. Even if you meet someone in person, the apps are just odd because if you meet someone after only meeting them through the phone, you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know if it is that
No,
person,
it
if
is.
it's some
It,
like
it is a hundred
weirdo.
percent. It is so difficult, and especially with this whole dating app, which we're not even gonna go into. We did a whole episode on that, but dating apps, online meetups, like people
There's
when
so
people
much.
meet in person, it's just not. People don't have it in them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I feel bad for the other generations that now have to date in this time period.
Yeah,
Because at least we've kind of grown up a little bit into it. But to go from before when it was more like organically meeting someone
yeah.
to now, it's all this harmony online, whatever.
Yeah, it's insane. It's
It's
insane.
hard.
And most kids these days, not our generation specifically, but the kids that are growing up now and being born now, man, they're screwed. Because before, at least we have the notion of what the world was before these things, but they see it all as so normal and they're more in their phones than they are in real life. Like they spend more time looking at a screen and a bunch of names on a screen on an app. Could be Instagram, TikTok, not only talking about dating apps, then actually being outside, meeting someone
I know.
organically.
I know my
And they don't have
doctor.
the skills. They don't have the skills either. You meet them and they're like they don't like talking to people or they just don't know how.
They
And
haven't had
that's
the
just so
opportunity.
sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, I know my doctor earlier, we were talking about each other's weekends and she goes, "Yeah, my son had like 6 friends over and they were moving a table into the room and my head went, "Oh my gosh, they built a fort." I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." And she's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
they set up a whole gaming system in the room and they were playing." And I was like, "They all got together in person to just go online." It was so sad. I was like, "Man, my mind instantly went to that was probably like such a sick fort."
Yeah, me too. Honestly, that's what I thought too. They were building something cool because
Yeah,
we had
not
to use our
gaming.
imagination. We have to use our imagination because that's the only thing we had.
I know. It's such a shame, but it is what it is. That's the
Yeah.
next generation.
No, no, no. It's a big problem. Big problem. And that goes into another thing. And this point number 4 says Gen Z is delaying major life milestones such as getting married, having kids, moving out. Unfortunately, this is also true. And I hate this because I'm trying to look for one that says, oh, no, you know what? No, that's not true. But these are all true. It is so sad. And it goes hand in hand. I mean, getting married later, having kids later goes hand in hand with the dating situation. If you can't date somebody decent, how are you going to get to the point where you're going to get married and have kids with this person? And then add in the financial situation, which we're not even going to get into. because I feel like we're both very like hardworking and we've like
Hmm.
pay their wave and everything. That's not the case for a bunch of people. And there's some people out there that are very, very struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. It's become like the norm, or even like less. Like people are like really struggling, or what's even worse, like people, what I see the most in Gen Z on the career side is okay, they went the regular route, the route that you're supposed to take, or that people say that you're supposed to take. Go to college, get a good job, and then they get the good job or their regular job nowadays. And then they realize, okay, they move out, they realize that they're working to pay bills and like nothing left to show. So they're like, and I say most people, or because we've been very privileged, or I don't know, hardworking, you would say, had like chase opportunities and like make it out on the other end. But this is a reality for most of the people in our generation, is they have these expectations, and then the reality is completely different for what they imagine. Like, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think in some sense, like our generation got a little spoon fed too. And so coming out and we were like built this dream. Like I remember when I was in grad school, we were built this dream that because we got this degree, we're going to get all the best jobs, and it's going to just come on this silver platter. We're going
Like
to
our
get this little
parents'
sheet of paper.
generation, like our parents' generation, right?
A
They
year
got
later,
they both had one job and they got a house, three kids, cars, and everything, vacations,
just
everything. And now people have three, four jobs, side hustles, and still it seems
yeah.
not to be enough.
Yeah, it was like a year later, and still some of my classmates were without jobs. And I was like, man, that is, and it's just brutal. So, and then if you don't have the money, it makes it harder to have kids and all these things, and it's just everything's more expensive. So it's like, no wonder why people aren't doing that. It's like,
Exactly.
can't even get there.
Population is going down, and it's not. Let's not even talk about the quality of our food, honestly, because that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other topic.
I could go in that for a while.
Yeah. So the next thing is social media and comparison culture, which honestly hit in so
We've
many
beat this to the
podcasts.
ground like a dead horse.
Exactly. So this is let's just touch on it real quick. Like higher screen time, lower self-esteem. This is a reality. And it says here 60% of Gen Z say social media makes them feel worse about themselves. I think this one's actually wrong. I don't think it's 60%. I think
I
it's
think it's like,
100%. I think it's 100%. And yeah, let's move on because we know this is true and we've talked about this so many times.
yeah, I think
Then
that actually kind of leads into the next one because it's the next one's like burnout in your 20s is normal. And
mhm.
yeah, no wonder why you're burnt out because you see all of these things and you're like, oh, I have to be doing more. I
Mhm.
need to get up at 5 a.m., but also stay up till midnight
Yeah.
and
Like
build
being
this and build
you,
that. And
yeah, being you and being hardworking is not enough. You need to be
hmm
more. And then this thoughts of you having to be more just burn you out because you're wearing yourself too thin at the end of
yeah,
the day.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, it contributes to that part earlier of people wanting to not be in a 9 to 5, though, as well, because you do
Yeah.
have to work. You have to work your ass off when you're an entrepreneur. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't just come out of thin air. You have to build it first and
Exactly.
foremost. And this all ties together because a lot of people see the shiny part of the entrepreneur path, which
Mhm.
is the
Yeah.
end, the people that have made
Yeah.
it. And so it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I should be there. It's easy to get there. And then when you're on the
No.
journey,
Yeah.
it's like not everything is rainbows and
Yeah,
sunshine.
it's really not like not everybody is cut up for it. Like 9 to 5 people, sometimes they are like, oh, like I want to be my own boss. I don't want to have rules. I don't want to have a schedule. And then they go
You
and be
still
their
have,
own boss. And you realize that you're working 24/7 and you had PTO before. Now you're working even when you're on vacation. If you can take the vacation, because especially on the early years of starting up a business, if you want the business to be successful, you're going to be working your ass off. Again, 24/7. Like it's just a misconception that people have.
yeah,
Now, next one is actually a good one. So Gen Z is more open about therapy and healing.
because we
And
need
I
it.
think I think this is really true. Because we need it, yes. Because you tell your parents, I tell my mom, my dad, if like therapy, wherever, or you should go to therapy to work
It's
this
like
out.
this
And they're
faux
like,
pod.
and they don't believe in it. They're like, well, what therapy? What therapy? I don't need anything. Like, I'm perfect, even though they do need it. But yeah, their generation didn't grow up needing that. Maybe we're a little bit more messed up. Maybe we need extra help. But we are more open about mental health and actually needing help and overcoming generational traumas, setting boundaries, healing your wounds and everything. Whereas later like older generations, they just stumbled upon it
Shove it down.
and shove it down and didn't realize all the mistakes they actually made, even with their kids or something, just because they didn't figure out some stuff that they really should have.
Yeah, it leads generation to generation and keeps getting more messed up. But I don't know. I mean, for you, have you ever gone to like therapy or done like some other life coach
No,
mindset work?
no, I had mentors for a business that I did, and I had mentors for 3 years, and that was amazing, but not actual therapy, a coach or anything. No, they were like you could say they were like my psychologists back in the day. Like I would tell them everything and they helped me through it. So I definitely think there's value in having someone you can talk to about your things. But therapy specifically, I haven't needed. I'm not opposed to it either if I one day need it.
Yeah, that's fair. You seem like really, I mean, it's early on set in like your mindset and who you are too. So it's just like you've just been locked in. Like this is
When
the
you
boundaries are set.
Yeah, when you grab me on a good day. No, I'm joking.
I only see you on a good day. What do you
I'm
mean?
joking. I'm joking. I do. I do. I don't know. I always say, like, I'm very normal. I have my moments where, of course, I'm human and I can't be perfect all the time. But mentally, like, I would say I'm very stable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. We're on
No, what
constantly
about
on our
you?
mindset journey.
Have you been in therapy or anything?
Yeah, I have. That's actually we have done therapy, life coaching. I have two mindset coaches right now. Um,
For sales, you need them. It's like,
Sales is
how do I not tell my clients they're stupid?
literally sometimes I'm just like, can I just shake you and be like, you're an idiot? I objection handled this past week for an entire hour. It was the longest I objection handled. And then I just ended. I was just like, dude, you're literally gonna have to hang up on me because I'm not making this decision for you to not step into the best version of yourself. If you end this call right now, you're saying that you're wanting to stay stuck. That was the longest ending. He was like, oh, I can't really find the end button. And I was like, it's because you want to do this. Like he didn't
Did he
close,
end it
but
at the end?
he did end up ending it. But I was like,
God.
I did everything I could on that call to get this guy over the line, but he was just financially unstable, which kind of leads us to our next one.
Financial stress.
Yes, this man was $170 away from changing his life. Like we found a solution, but you know what? Another day,
Wow.
one that will roll away eventually. But anyways, for Gen Z,
Yes.
financial stress is number 8 is a huge issue. So you were kind of mentioning this earlier too. It's like a lot of Gen Zers, like, they live paycheck to paycheck, and I think I mean a lot of that comes from what we're taught to, like what is your relationship with money, how do you use it, and things are more expensive too.
Yes. Like the cost of living has gone up. If you look at a chart of like the price of housing, groceries, and the income level, if you look at on a graph from like the 19 whatevers to today, the income honestly didn't move very much. Like this a little bit.
But you
And
know,
the cost of pricing for everything else went like this. So it's not even a fair game that we're playing right now. Now there's ways that you can move past it, yes, absolutely. But again, most people, we can judge an entire generation based on the best of the generation or the smart ones or whatever. Because some things, yes, sometimes people can be victims, and I hate victims. If you come to me and you tell me, no, I can't because life is hard and life is this and all that, no, those are excuses. Don't look at that and just do the next thing you have to do and you'll figure it out. Yes. And that is a mentality that I try to have always. I don't try to stay on the place of, yes, the world is messed up and things need to change and our let's not even talk about the government, like all these things. Yes, they're happening, but I try not to look at it. But in the reality, it is messed up for most of people out there.
yeah.
And yeah, I try to stay so disconnected from it so it doesn't affect me that I don't even know, like I'm not capable of giving you like exact statistics or exact things that are going on because I try not to look at it. I try not to because it would probably depress me and then I'll go into therapy and then I'll go into those percentages.
Maybe that's what I need to
that
do. I
we
need to
were
stop.
talking.
I need to stop listening to stuff and hearing the news and what's going
I
on out
don't
there.
like. I don't see the news. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know we were at war until somebody told me, and I was like, "Oh, we are."
See, it's such a hard line because I'm like, I want to know things,
I didn't
but
know.
I also don't want to know. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
over the weekend I
don't.
was like, yeah, turn on the news, and I had my I'm not gonna say its name because it'll start talking.
Yeah.
Do a recap, and it was like we were currently in like a like there was a shooting and all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, you
it
see,
just
I don't
it
want to
used to
know.
be
I
like
always say,
Susie saved this puppy from whatever, and it was great. It was like sunshine, rainbows, and now
no,
it's
yeah,
like
all bad.
someone shooting up a school and not killing someone. It's like, yay, that's a win.
Oh
Like,
my God,
like what happened?
it's
What's happening to
insane.
our?
Yeah, I always say whenever I need to find out something that is big enough that I have to know, like somebody will tell me. And if I don't, find out soon enough, well, farewell,
I'm always
I
walking this
guess.
line of, do I want to know or do I want to not know? So,
I
because
prefer
when
that.
I hear that stuff, it like I will cry. Some of it is just so
Oh,
sad, and it's especially like what's happening overseas too. It's some of these stories. I'm like, man, I'm just a really emotional person.
yeah. Honestly, the last one we want to touch into is loneliness. There's a study out there that says loneliness is increasing for Gen Z, even with social media, which we know those shouldn't even be there. Social media is not like the solution, is the problem to begin with. And yeah, Gen Z is one of the loneliest generations, and despite being the most connected. And again, it goes back into what we're saying, not because you are friends or you have followers or people follow you or you follow people, that doesn't mean anything. Or even if you have conversations over the internet and then you meet in person and you can't look at someone in the eye or shake a hand, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard because it's especially because a lot of our generation does do more stuff online. Now we have remote and hybrid, and you're just not even seeing people day to day. And then you pull up your phone and you see someone else doing. FOMO was created for a
Yeah,
reason.
right.
So it just perpetuates just that self doubt and self talk. I'm like, oh, this, that, and I'll just be alone. There's been days where I don't if I don't leave my house, especially with my choking, I'm like, I could literally die in my apartment and
With your choking.
no one would know. Someone would
Oh
eventually know, but it would take
my
a
God.
couple
Okay.
days.
I know next time I call you, if you don't answer, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
call
be
somebody
worried.
to check on you.
I know Lorna was gonna get me it's like a self what is that called when you give someone a Heimlich? It's like
Oh
it's a
yeah.
tool where you can basically give yourself a Heimlich. And I was like, oh man, I actually need that.
Ma'am, you need to stop choking.
I choke on air, water. It's really bad. I don't know what it is. Some fun facts about me. I'm a danger to myself.
Thank you. Thank you for that fun fact. I needed to know that desperately. Anyways, but yes, loneliness. So I think it's interesting because we went from, I think there's a lot of remote culture out there still, but I'm also finding a lot of people who are wanting to go back into an office environment, wanting to go back to actually being with people, interacting with people throughout the day. And I know this for a fact because I was one of those people. I got a remote job. And even though I was working, I was living with my parents at that time and they lived at home and everything. My mom, she worked and everything. My sister would come and go. I had people at home. I was working remote, but still, the job itself, like I was doing my job and it was so lonely. And I was talking to people on Slack all day. And I would see them and have conversations with them, but it's not the same. Like you're still in, you look around and you're still in your room, in your desk most of the day, most of the week, most of the month, most of the year. That's so freaking depressing. And
You won't.
I craved being in person in an office where I could talk to people and like joke around, mess around. I could look at somebody and say, this client is like losing its mind, just make it fun again. Because, oh my God, like I feel like we're so hyper, I don't know, hyper productive, hyper like you gotta focus and you gotta work and you gotta do this and you gotta do that. And sometimes it's more convenient to be remote. Like I couldn't disagree more nowadays. I'm like, no, give me an office with people around any day. And honestly, the perfect thing would be to have an office to go to, but have the option to come and go as you please, not having to be there every day. That's the best.
I like wearing my sweatpants day to day, not gonna lie.
No, not even because that depresses me. Like, even where I work from home, like, I used to dress nice, not like an office
I
type
did for like two
professional.
weeks and then I was like, nobody
Not like an
sees me.
not like an office type professional, but I would wear a dress. I would wear like nice clothes. Like I would do my makeup. Or honestly, no, I don't even do my makeup when I'm going to the office. I don't even know why I said that. Guess I hate makeup. But like I would just, I would fix myself up because it makes me feel better. If I'm no offense, but if I'm in gym clothes all day, I feel bad.
I feel targeted.
I
What
really
do you
do.
mean? What do you
But
mean
I know.
gym clothes?
But I know. Yeah. Try to hide the Shark Tank logo right there.
Gym clothes? What? What'd you say?
Is because you guys, you Americans, and again, not targeting anybody, but you Americans do this a lot. Like you're so used to being in sweats or gym clothes, like being comfortable. I feel in Hispanic world we don't, like that is considered being like you're letting yourself go. But again, it's a
I am.
culture thing. No, you're not. It's a culture thing.
I
Like for
haven't
Americans,
worn
it's
real
perfectly normal.
clothes
For
in
Hispanics, like no.
in a minute. Like I can't remember where I was going. I was like, oh, I'll put on some extra clothes because I'm either at the gym or if I do go out, it's like a nice dinner, so I'm like really dressed up. And there's just hasn't been this in between because even if I go to the doctor or something, I'm in gym clothes. I think it was something this weekend I was going to go to, and I was like, oh, I get to wear real clothes. And I stood in front of my closet and I was like, I don't even know what to put on. And I ended up just going into gym clothes because I'm like, this is easier.
You see, you're slacking.
I know. I didn't even like. I looked in there and I was like, oh, no one's grab. Like, what do people wear?
You have so much clothes, Audrey.
Me too, but it's decision fatigue. It's a marketing 101.
It's true. It's true. It's same with the TV. You're passing channels and you're like, there's nothing to watch. Like,
And there's like
there's too much to
things.
watch. If you had one channel and they were playing one movie, you would be watching that.
Yeah,
You
for
have no
sure.
other choice. Honestly, this is not on the list, but this is something else that I just remembered, that I just noticed about Gen Z, especially now. Gen Z and the people that are being born now. We have so many options. So many options, especially, and this is again very blessed of us, especially in this country that we live in, that yes has its issues, but we do get a lot of opportunities. This is like
Yeah.
undeniable. You can't deny it. Like there's a reason that immigrants like myself come to this country, because we have a bunch of opportunities here. But sometimes there's so much you can do and you want to do it all, and you just don't know what to do because you have so many choices. And what if I do that? What if I do that? Like I like 10 different things. Which one is the best? It's sometimes it can be very, very frustrating, and it can delay your growth because you're trying all these different things to find the one thing that you actually want to do for the longest time. And until you find that one thing and give your all to this one thing without being distracted, that's when you find the real results. But people, since they have so many options, they keep switching from one thing to another, and it's harder to get somewhere because you need to put time and consistency and effort towards one thing.
Yeah. And for like just as an example to that, I can't remember what generation she would be in. I had a friend, I would have been like 13, she was like 93. And she would tell me all these stories and it was like her only options was being a nurse or a teacher. Two options. Really
Yeah.
a easy decision. Whereas us, there's even jobs that we could do that aren't created yet.
Right.
Like just in the last like 3 months, the way that AI has gone,
Yeah.
there's all these other job opportunities.
Wow, I
that
just saw
didn't
your
exist.
muscle from your shoulder. Wow.
I think I might be going on a cut for the first time in my life, which is going to be cool. I started tracking my calories and realized I've been bulking my entire life.
Yeah.
I was like, imagine this is how fit I am, like eating hella calories. What I would do if I'm at like a normal amount for someone my size and
At a
weight
normal
and
amount.
shape.
That's so
It's
funny.
a
Anyways,
lot.
but yes, your friend, you were saying she had two options. Teacher or nurse? What did she decide?
She went in the teacher direction.
Teacher, you see, but easy peasy. She wasn't overwhelmed or thinking, teaching is not for me. What if I'm an astronaut? No, because she didn't have the option. And I'm not saying that having more options is bad, but I'm saying that sometimes is it can delay it, it can overwhelm you, and it can get you into
Bog you
a
down, put you in a state of
paralysis.
depression, perhaps.
It can get you into like a, what's it called? Paralysis analysis?
Analysis
State?
by paralysis.
Yes, analysis paralysis. And it's so stressful. Like that actually causes a lot of anxiety because you don't know if you're making the right choice even when you make it. So that's why somebody told me one time, you make the choice and you make the choice that you made the right one. Don't think about what if I did that instead? Maybe that would have been better. Don't think about it. Make a choice and make it the right one. Oh, that also goes into relationships. If you choose someone, make that person the right one unless they're really, really, really not the right one. You know what I mean? Like don't let them cross your boundaries and stuff like that. But what people do, they get in a relationship and they don't feel a spark anymore, or they don't feel it, and they allow themselves to find something else in another person. Yeah, that shouldn't
Exactly.
that's not right. You chose that person
Shiny
for a
object
reason.
syndrome.
Exactly. You chose that person for a reason. choose that person every single day, no matter what. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, someone I ran into the other day, they were saying that about this day and age was like there is less commitment because there's so much out there that people
Mm,
aren't they're always like, "Oh, there could be this, there could be that. There's this
yeah.
other grass is always greener on the other side." And it's like, "Well, the grass you water and take care of and mend and fertilize and speak nicely to, it's going to grow beautiful as well." So, but it all loops together. Like all of these different topics we covered, they all coincide and
Yeah,
one creates the other and it's a perpetuating cycle. So it's
exactly.
really just taking a step back and being like, okay, what do I actually have gratitude, take it in. What you were mentioning earlier of like you never know what's going through someone else's life.
Hmm.
Lean in, be nice, smile. That may actually really help pull them out of that place of potential depression.
100%. Yeah. So after all of that, I feel like one thing is clear, and being in this generation is not easy. Honestly, being in this life, in this world, in this day and age is not easy for anybody. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of noise, and a lot of expectations. But at the same time, we're also one of the most self aware, ambitious, and evolving generations, which is a good thing. Not everything's bad. Although we focus this one in the bad things, we can also do one maybe on the good things and not bash our own generation so much. Yeah, so it's maybe not that we're too much. Maybe we're just figuring things out in a completely different world that the
Just
generations before us did.
perhaps we're just, trying not to quit.
Perhaps we're just trying not to quit.
Throw that in there.
No, legit. I was gonna say, like, as always, we don't have anything figured out or everything figured out. We're just two girls trying not to quit, trying to make sense of it all along the way. So, if you are hearing this and you made it this far, we love you guys. Let us know what you think and if you agree with the stats or not. And we'll see you on the next episode.